Thy name is my healing, O my God, and remembrance of thee is my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee is my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing, and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all bountiful, art the all knowing. Thy name is my healing, O my God, and remembrance of thee is my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee is my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing, and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all bountiful, art the all knowing, the all wise, the all wise, the all wise. The all wise.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Susanne Maziarz. I'm the music director here, and I have your announcements from our community for the coming week. First announcement regards the gathering music video that we just watched called Healing Prayer by Holani and Sinelli, which was written and recorded in Mancini, Eswatini in 2018 as part of a project called the Bahai Song Project, which is an initiative from around the world where Baha'is and their friends take words from their scripture, write songs, and make it freely available to the public around the world to encourage community singing. And in the service today, we're going to sing a couple of songs that I found through this song project. What we were hearing was, "Thy name is my healing, O my God, and remembrance of thee is my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee is my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing, and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-wise." Ongoing activities here at Neighborhood include spirit choir rehearsals happening every Monday night here in our sanctuary from 7 to 9 p.m. If you're interested in joining the choir, talk to me. We have a Pilates class happening on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. here in this space. Bring your own mat. You can also talk to me about more info about that. And our show in the Neighborhood Gallery, which includes this wall as well as upstairs hallways, called Coping, COVID Creations. Take a minute to visit or come in during the week to have a look at the gallery. A special congregational meeting is happening today after service. For those here in person, please stay for a discussion and update regarding the minister leadership search process. And for folks on Zoom, you're welcome to attend as well. You will have to, the recording's shutting down, so you will have to re-sign in again if you'd like to attend the meeting, about 15 minutes after service. There's a multi-faith picnic happening on October 16 at Withrow Park, starting at 1:30 with our East Toronto multi-faith community partners. And you can talk to Laura for more info about that, but all are welcome. And we have a special guest, Reverend Fred Wooden, coming for a whole weekend of activities with us. On October 22nd, that's a Saturday, potluck dinner at 6 p.m. to meet and chat with him. Then the following morning, he'll be speaking at our service, and then stay after the service for a workshop on the hallmarks of liberal religion and to help us figure out exactly who we are and where we're going. We need 2 more greeters to help welcome folks arriving on Sunday mornings. If that might be you, please talk to Luann. Silent auction canvassers are also needed. Our hardworking fundraising team are looking for people to join them and hit the Danforth for donations for our upcoming Peace and Love silent auction. And I know John Whitehead would like to speak to that. Here you go.
Hi, so traditionally we've canvassed Queen Street, and Kim and Veronica working hard to canvass Queen Street. I do Kingston Road, but we're in a new location, as you know, so we're looking to canvass Danforth, and today after service, Pam and I are going to be canvassing the Danforth stores. And if anyone knows of any stores on the Danforth that would be open to making donations, and please let us know. And if anyone would like to join Pam or I to be a canvassing buddy, let us know too. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
John. And thanks for your ongoing dedication. On this Saturday at 2 p.m., we are hosting the funeral service for Eleanor Barr, the mother of Allison Barr, here in our sanctuary. All are welcome to come and attend and pay your respects. Small groups are starting, I think this week or next week. Information was sent out in Monday's weekly emailed announcements, and sign-up sheets are on the table in the cappuccino room. We're offering cakes for the Queen of Heaven, led by Moira McDonald, English country dancing, led by Kathy Campbell, and Active Hope Book Group, led by Natalie, Bruce, and myself. You can speak to us for more info or check out the info on the sheets. Common Thread in the Streets is rehearsing here in the sanctuary on Sunday, October 23rd in the evening from 7 to 8:30. All are welcome to sing with CTS. It's a choir for animating rallies, protests, picket lines, and demos. Rehearsals are once a month, and you can talk to me for more info about that. Tea with the Minister. Join Rev. Pat Trudeau in the minister's office on Fridays at 4 p.m. for tea and conversation. This informal visit is an opportunity to meet and share ideas over a good hot cup of tea. Well, that was going to happen, but instead, John Whitehead spoke. Moving right along, there's our poster for the auction. Wonderful poster. And this week's question to the community: how do you believe oneness is expressed in our faith? ponder this. We'll be hearing more in the service and have a chance to speak about it at the end. And next Sunday, our theme is The Myth of the Secular, Finding Love, Awe, and Meaning in Everyday Life. Our speaker will be Reverend Joel Michael Herbert, and music will be provided by our own Spirit Band.
We welcome you to our Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist Congregation service. Thank you for joining us. My name is Gordon Thorne, and I will lead and weave this service together this morning. Now, we have nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Let all the thoughts that you brought into this room and the thoughts that you might have to do after, let them go. Let us bring our hearts, minds, and spirits together as one, as we give greeting and gratitude for being with each other. This is our threshold moment. Let's enter sacred space together. Our service begins now. This morning, I'd like to invite Laura and her father, Jerry, up to light our chalice for us. We light this chalice to remember, to light the fire within our own hearts. Thank you so much. So, you might as well not sit down, Laura, because our prelude today will be sung by Laura Thomas, accompanied by Susanne and Sean Thomas. Sean, you were going to introduce this prelude for us.
Yeah, I'll just say a couple things about, this is a tune that many of you will know, but you might not know kind of the context in which it's written. That the song is "Hummingbird Don't Fly Away," or "Hummingbird," I think is the title, and it's was written by Seals and Croft about the persecution of the Bahai faith founder Baha'u'llah, and the kind of suffering that he endured because of his beliefs. And it was written as a kind of apology. So this is a little quote from Jim Seals that. The song relates to how each of the world's leaders, kind of spiritual leaders, when they come, are misunderstood. And the first thing that people do is strike out at them. And so the song is meant as kind of a song of atonement for the suffering that the kind of spiritual leaders generally endure. And personally, I didn't know this about the song, but I have a kind of long relationship with the Bahai faith. A dear friend of mine, one of my best friends in high school, was Bahai, and the first band I played in, he was a band member. So I think in this of Bashir.
Oh, hummingbird, mankind was waiting for you to come flying along. Heavenly songbird, we were so wrong. We've harmed you, oh hummingbird. Lend us your wings, let us soar in the atmosphere. don't fly away, fly away. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. In you I found a fragrance. I'll love you till I die. I just love you, love you, love you. I don't even know the reason why. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. The sweetness of your nectar has drawn me like a fly. I just love you, love you, love you. I don't even know the reason why. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. Haven't you noticed the days somehow keep getting longer, and the spirit voices whisper in a song? Haven't you noticed the rays? The spirit sun is getting stronger, and a new day is dawning for us all. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. Alas, here comes the gardener. He's come to till the flowers. The draught of understanding, wisdom, peace, and love is ours now. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. Hummingbird, don't fly away, fly away. Don't 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 fly away.
Thank you, Laura and Sean and Suzanne. In this week that held the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, I start by acknowledging that the Wendat, the Anishinaabe Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and most recently the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nations, who lived here before me and are living here now, together with the Métis and the Inuit. The First Nations that lived here before us, as well as those that have settled here since, are governed by the law of the dish with one spoon. This was an agreement going back as far as 1142 for sharing hunting territory amongst two or more nations. All peoples eat out of a single dish, and that is, we all live in a shared territory, and as such, we must take what we need so that we can share all the land together. Settlers are guests on this land, and in this spirit of respect and hospitality, I offer my gratitude to our First Nations for their care for and teachings about our earth and our relations. Good morning and welcome. Our mission at Neighborhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of our world. Our musical director is Susanne Maziarz, and Zoriah Getchell facilitates our Sunday Child and Caregiver program. Our theme for October is awe, seeing life as sacred. We are at Neighborhood open to many beliefs and learn from many traditions. We welcome all people to our religious community. This morning, I offer a special welcome to Rolando Aguilera, who is our guest and guide to the Bahai community and faith. Thank you for joining us, Rolando. In Unitarian Universalism, we believe that the truth is not sealed. This is a place of sharing of ideas. We hear all points of view with respect and share rituals and elements of many religions in ours. As a partner in the Danforth Multi-Faith Commons, we even share space with other faiths. Just as we are guests on these First Nations lands that we share with respect, Rolando is our guest. And as good hosts, I encourage you to treat him and what we learned today with respect and curiosity. In the words of Abdul Bahai in his book, Paris Talks, all these divisions we see on all sides, all these disputes and oppositions are caused because men cling to ritual and outward observances and forget the simple underlying truth. It is the outward practice of religions that are so different, and it is they that cause disputes and enmity, while the reality is always the same and one. The reality is the truth, and the truth has no division. So, now is the time to greet your neighbors. After you have greeted a few neighbors, I invite you to turn to the camera at the back of the wall there and offer a greeting to those that are joining us virtually. Suzanne, are the kids gonna, the kids are going to come up at the end and sound a chime to end. So now, take a moment to greet the neighbors around you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, it's so nice to see you all.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Cindy.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Gail.
Beth.
Hi,
Hi,
Owen. It's wonderful to see you. Hi, Cindy
hi,
and
Jen.
Charlie. Hi,
Hi.
Bet. Are you Maya yet?
Hi, Terry. No, I
Hi,
can't.
Yes,
Myrna. It's so nice to
Rafi.
see you.
Hi, Dee Dee. Diddly
Hi.
Dee.
Oh, Olivia is
Hi,
here. Hi,
Christina.
thanks, Olivia.
I can't see everybody for some reason.
Hi,
Gallery
Katya.
view.
Hi, Susan.
Hey, Dolly.
Oh,
Hi,
Oh,
Dina.
look how
Hi,
nice, everyone.
Deb. Hi,
Hi,
Dolly.
hi, everyone.
Okay.
Hey,
hi.
Veronica.
Rafi. Rafi.
Please have a seat. Reverend Pat always told me that greet your neighbors should be short enough to greet the people around you and not long enough to have a committee meeting. Now, I invite you to join me in our opening words, which will appear above me on the screen. Let us cast the circle of a sacred space here. Let us cast the circle of a cherished space here, a space of safety, a place of forgiveness, a place of love. If we want the world to change, we must craft in our space and in ourselves the seeds that grow a different kind of life, a life of graciousness, of creative intelligence, a place of life and spirit for ourselves and our families.
Going to learn a couple of songs from the Bahai Song Project. This first one's called So Powerful, and we've never sung it before, so I'm going to teach it to you. But could we rise in energy, however that feels in your body? I'll sing a phrase, you sing it back to me. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. Second phrase the same. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. And then me. That it can illuminate the whole earth. That it can illuminate the whole earth. Then we have a really fun one on the next one. That it can illuminate the whole. That it can illuminate the whole earth. The whole earth, the whole earth, the whole earth. All right, you got it. And if you don't, you'll have it by the third time around or something. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. That it can illuminate the whole earth. That it can illuminate the whole earth. The whole earth. The whole earth, the whole earth. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. That it can illuminate the whole earth. That it can illuminate the whole earth, the whole earth, the whole earth, the whole earth. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. That it can illuminate the whole earth. That it can illuminate the whole earth, the whole earth, the whole earth, the whole earth. One more. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. So, so powerful, so powerful is the light of unity. That it can illuminate the whole earth. That it can illuminate the whole earth. The whole earth. The whole earth. The whole earth.
I'm going to invite the young and young at heart down to gather on the carpet because it's time for our Time for All Ages for today. So I'm going to start off our Time for All Ages today with a very special welcome to Rolando Aguilera, who's talking us today about the Bahai faith. Thank you for joining us, and thank you all for joining me. So Rolando is going to be talking us in a little bit about the idea of oneness or of unity. And that is an idea that, as you use, we have something of an understanding of because of our seventh principle, respect for the interconnected web of all existence. And I'm very excited to see how the Bahai concept of unity and oneness is both similar and different to our concept of unity and togetherness and interconnectedness. And I hope that all of us can listen to those differences openly and respectfully. Now, for our Time for All Ages, Rolando has offered us a story, a YouTube video that will be shown in just a minute. This story is about Abdul Baha, and it's a story about how he helped others to experience and to embrace unity. Mike, if you could roll that video now.
Many people came to see Abdul Baha. Some of the people were rich or important, some were poor. Once, a group of English people who were on holiday knocked on his door. Abdul Baha welcomed them all. One day, an Arab gentleman came to the house. A little while later, another Arab gentleman arrived. When they saw each other, they became angry because they did not like each other. Abdul Baha told them funny stories, and they began to laugh. He also told them serious stories, and they listened thoughtfully. My home is the home of peace, said Abdul Baha. My home is the home of joy and delight. My home is the home of laughter. Whoever enters through the portals of this home must go out with gladsome heart. He told them to embrace one another, and he fetched sweets and 2 silk handkerchiefs to give them. Is it not much better to be friends than enemies? Abdul Baha asked them. It seems God directed our steps to your home this morning, they said, as they left the house, the best of friends.
Well, that was a lovely story. Thank you, Rolando, for sharing it and its wisdom with us. And thank everybody here for listening. It was our Time for All Ages. We'll go off to our program now. Thank you.
So this is a unique time in our service when we invite you to share a joy or concern in your life. Then we light this last candle for all the joys and concerns, unspoken and in our hearts. This is now the time for meditation or prayer. I would like to do a loving kindness guided meditation. It's a meditation that's rooted in the Buddhist tradition, and I did once before in June. Susanne's going to help me with it. So choose a comfortable position with your feet on the ground and your hands comfortably in your lap. Some people like to close their eyes, others don't. There's no wrong. Now, take a moment just to concentrate on how your body feels. Feel each arm, each leg, your torso, your face, letting go of any tension. I don't know about you, but I can sometimes hear the blood flowing inside my ears. There's little twitches, the minute vibrations that your body produces. Now I'd like you to repeat the following words as Susanne sings them. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole.
So just pause for a little while to contemplate what the words truly mean and try to gauge how they make you feel inside. Now think of someone you love, someone that inspires feelings of warmth and kindness. Keep all of them in mind and then repeat these words as Susanne sings. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole.
May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole.
Now, think of someone you saw on the street yesterday, or somebody you noticed as you were coming into the building, or interacted with some point in a store or business, a stranger, and repeat the following words as Susanne sings. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole.
May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole.
Now, Visualize yourself being loving and empathetic towards others, towards people in other countries, like countries protesting, like those protesting those in Iran demonstrating against the treatment of women, or those in Russia demonstrating against forced conscription, or all our relations in our First Nations who lived and continue to live the legacy of residential schools. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
May you all be safe. May you all have the strength to overcome your struggles. May you always be surrounded with people who love you and care for you. And then it's over. Take your time as you stretch and feel the love of the world return to you. Well, it is my pleasure now to introduce you to our speaker, Rolando Aguilera. Rolando grew up in Guelph to parents from El Salvador. He attended Catholic primary and secondary schools before attending the University of Guelph. It was during his first semester of undergraduate studies that Rolando began to study the Bahai faith. Rolando then enrolled in a master's degree specializing in Latin American literature, and thereafter went on to study law with a focus on Canadian constitutional law. Rolando recently moved to Toronto with his wife Meryl and two sons, Raphael and Kumars. Welcome, Rolando.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, and not just this one that you provided, but the whole morning has been so moving. I do feel very... Okay, I'll try to speak louder. Thank you. I'm happy that I feel very... I'm just very grateful for the opportunity to have come here and to participate this morning with all of this ceremony. I think it's made me very sensitive, and I think probably no better setup for what I'm going to talk about this morning. I just want to start off by indicating that I'm here as a representative of the Bahai community at the invitation of your community. I am not a clergy member. The Bahai faith, as some of you may know, has no clergy. We do have councils at the local, national, and international level that are elected on a regular basis. But outside of the role of these 9 members who occupy these councils, they have no authority over, one's spiritual life or your interpretation of the word. That really rests with the individual. That is all to say that these are my own thoughts, and any inaccuracies are solely my own. We're going to talk about the oneness of humanity as a principle, one of the defining principles of the Bahai faith. And it's been so nicely woven into and set up already that it makes my task very easy today. It is a topic which both for the mind is a lifelong endeavor, as you all, I think, know. But to put it into practice is also yet another lifelong endeavor. So even whatever I say will not exhaust the process. So what I really want to focus on is I'm just going to talk about just high level about this principle. Then I want to really share some anecdotes and stories with you about the life of Abdul Baha, who was pictured in the children's class, and I'm going to mention who that person is to the Baha'i faith as a way of showing the challenge that is before us to get to this place of oneness or unity. So it's very high level, and we can stay on this slide. Mike, thank you so much. Abdul Baha is referred to in the Baha'i faith as the master or the perfect exemplar of the Baha'i teachings. He was indicated by his father, Baha'u'llah, as the successor after his passing to lead the community. This provided a singular moment in time with which to preserve the unity of the body of the believers of the Baha'i faith the world over. So the Baha'i faith has really resisted sort of falling into sectarianism and divisions because of the station that Abdul Baha has been provided. He had the opportunity to spread this message of oneness, which was so definitive in the Baha'i faith, to both members and friends of the East and of the West. And in 1912, after a long period of incarceration at the behest of the Iranian monarchs, within the authority of the Ottoman Empire, was slowly demonstrated that they weren't hostile or represented a threat to Islam and the community in the Ottoman Empire as well as Iran. Members of the West, people in North America and England and Europe had started learning about this message of oneness and had been visiting Abdul Baha. And then when the opportunity presented itself, he went to North America. And can we go to the next slide, just to give you, this is a portrait of Abdul Baha in the later stages of his life. And Abdul Baha simply means the servant of glory. Baha is the word in Arabic for glory, and Abdul means servant. So he's the servant of his father, who is Baha'u'llah, who is the glory of God, and he's dedicated his life to spreading the message of his father. So that's Abdul Baha. Can we go to the next slide? So I'm going to focus very narrowly on the issue of the oneness of humanity as it related to the race issue in the United States as it was described back then in the early 20th century. We could talk about the oneness of humanity or the principle of oneness in many regards: the equality of men and women, the oneness of religion, the harmony between science and religion. But I'm going to focus on this particular issue just to illustrate this principle of oneness in action. Can we go to the next slide? So this is Louis Gregory. And Louis Gregory was a Howard University and Fisk educated man. Had his own law practice in Washington, D.C. In 1907. And was disillusioned really with the possibility that religion could offer solutions to the problems of the day, specifically, as a black man in the United States, the problem of racial discrimination, prejudice. He had been very active following the writings and activities of W.E.B. Du Bois, and came to learn about the Baha'i faith in 1907. Again, he was not seeking out religion and kind of attended a meeting at the behest and invitation of a friend of his out of courtesy. It was then that he learned about Abdul Baha and this teaching of oneness, and was so moved that eventually, in the following years, went to visit Abdul Baha in Egypt, in Ramallah. It was upon that encounter when Abdul Baha placed to Louis Gregory the question, Like, what is the most pressing issue of the day? What of the race issue in the United States? And then before his departure said, turned to Louis Gregory, again, a black man working in Washington, D.C., a lawyer, highly charged racial environment, to work for the oneness of humanity as between whites and blacks. And so Louis Gregory departed from Egypt with that sole purpose in mind, going back to work with the Bahai community in Washington, D.C., who at that time was largely white, largely upper class, and very insular, and still didn't know how to reckon with this principle of the oneness of humanity and the elimination of prejudices of all kinds. So that task was given to Louis Gregory. I'm going to illustrate now a specific story. So this was pre-1912. Now we're going to go back to 1912 when Abdu'l-Baha eventually makes his way to North America and spends 239 days on these shores. He spends time in Montreal and on the east coast of the United States and some other places in the United States. So in April 1912, Abdu'l-Baha gives a talk at Howard University. And he comes into contact with Louis Gregory and says, Louis, we're going to have a private conversation at the Persian legation, which is the closest thing to an embassy at the time of a Persian embassy, and says, come, we're going to have a private conversation. The host at the Persian legation has prepared for that evening a meal, a very formal meal with the upper echelons of society in Washington, D.C., 1912. An occasion that would be surrounded by the kind of pomp and circumstance of a kind of diplomatic encounter that you would imagine. Louis Gregory indicates in his memoir that the conversation went on and on and on, and that it seemed like Abdu'l-Baha was prolonging the conversation intentionally. The staff at the embassy indicate that it was time for supper. And then Abdu'l-Baha proceeded to the dining area, followed by a large crowd of white guests, 19 table places, and proceeds to sit at the head of the table where he's been invited to sit. Abdu'l-Baha then notes that Louis Gregory has not accompanied them to the dining table. And he immediately asks the representative of the Persian legation, where is Mr. Gregory? Go find Mr. Gregory. Go find him and bring him here. When the member of the Persian legation comes into contact with Mr. Gregory, he is slowly trying to make his way out of the building without being noticed. He invites him back to the table. Abdu'l-Baha, upon seeing Mr. Gregory, starts to move all of the table mats, all of the cutlery, the spoons, the plates that have been placed, and asks for a 20th place at the table to be put right beside where he is. He sits down, Mr. Gregory, and without saying a word, says, now we can start. He, at that moment, began to speak on the topic of racial prejudice, again, to an audience of all white attendees who wouldn't have been accustomed to having black folks sit at the same table with them. This represented Abdu'l-Baha's assault on the social conventions related to the color line in the United States. He would go on in various fora to touch upon this matter and the fundamental importance of overcoming this prejudice. So I share with you that story because I think many of you in this room, and I think many people within the Bahai community, might think of themselves as proponents or advocates of racial unity or harmony, or that they're freed themselves of these prejudices. But when the time comes, I think when we're confronted with these very subtle forms of racial prejudice, and sometimes overt, it challenges us to the core. And Abdul Baha in 1912 confronted those social conventions with a kind of grace and yet courage that was required for people to fully understand the implications of this message of oneness. Could we go to the next slide? So that's a little bit of the history, and I'm going to bring us a little bit into the present to get us, to allow us to get to know who the Bahai community of this city are, the Bahai community of Toronto. Can we go to the next slide? You're going to see an image of the second council, the Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of Toronto. That's 1939. The first one was 1938. And as you can see, the majority of the council members are women. And that's an embodiment or a manifestation of this principle of the equality of men and women, which is fundamental to the faith. And just to take you back, the faith started in 1844, and that was a principle that was being articulated, or fundamental understanding back then. So that's the first council, and there's been councils in Ontario since that time. Can we go to the next slide? So along with the principles of, so the principle of oneness, again, as an idea, we can live with it and think it and have nice feelings about it, but we have to somehow give life to this. So the Baha'i community is right now engaged in activities centered on the promotion of unity of all peoples of the world, and I'm going to just share a couple of ways we're doing that. Can we go to the next slide? So one way that Baha'is are trying to embody this principle is through children and youth activities. One of the lessons you heard today, what would be an example of, is actually the product of one of these children's classes, so that parents, adult members of the community, young people are taking part in both trying to understand what that principle is and transmit it to young people, and doing service projects with young people, again, that are centered on this principle of oneness. Youth activities are also focused on this principle, where young people in a very critical stage in their life, where they're coming of age, where they're figuring out who they are encouraged and mentored to develop their capacity of utterance and expression, alongside concrete acts of service that embody this principle of oneness. And I think I just have one more slide after this. If we could go to that, Mike. Oh, no. The other way, the last one I didn't have, is the devotional gatherings. Gatherings where people, there are no churches, like there's no physical structures as of right now. There are temples, continental temples, in every continent of planet Earth, and there are some local temples that are being developed right now, but by and large, Baha'is meet in gathering spaces. Could be here, could be in their home, and the purpose of that is to do exactly what you did today, is to bring the hearts closer together, such that when we get together and say, what does the community need, what's happening, it roots us in a more sort of transcendental and connection beyond the material sort of differences or accidents of life that would separate us. So I'll just end by saying that I think, Abdul Baha mentioned that that we shouldn't be attached to this label as Baha'is, or any label. Rather, what we're trying to do is give life to the teachings of the faith. And that there are many people out there who have never heard the word Bahai or Baha'u'llah, and are actually living that life sometimes in ways much more than we who attach that label to ourselves are. So there's really an emphasis of detachment and understanding that this message is for the whole of humanity. There is no outside, inside. This message is for the whole of humanity. So I'll leave you with that, and just thank you again, very humbly, for inviting us into this space and for sharing. Thank you so much.
you so much, Rolando. Now is the time for our offertory. Sharing of ourselves is part of every faith. Volunteer efforts are essential, but salaries are paid and programs created by your contributions. So as we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm our lives within it. I'm going to ask the greeters to come and pick up the baskets as Susanne plays. If you have found love and acceptance here, if you have found home here, if you have known kindred spirits here, let this offering be a token of gratitude for our common life as we build the common good.
So our closing song also comes from the Bahai Song Project. And before we learn the song, I wanted to read to you the reading of Abdul Baha that it was based on, because I found it very beautiful myself. Be generous in prosperity and thankful in adversity. Be worthy of the trust of thy neighbor and look upon him with a bright and friendly face. Be a treasure to the poor and admonisher to the rich, an answerer of the cry of the needy, a preserver of the sanctity of thy pledge. Be fair in thy judgment and guarded in thy speech. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful, a sea for the thirsty, a haven for the distressed, an upholder and defender of the victim of oppression. Let integrity and uprightness distinguish all thine acts. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering, a tower of strength for the fugitive. Be an ornament to the countenance of truth, a crown to the brow of fidelity, a pillar of the temple of righteousness, a breath of life to the body of humankind, an ensign of the hosts of justice, a luminary above the horizon of virtue, a dew to the soil of the human heart, an ark on the ocean of knowledge, a sun in the heaven of bounty, a gem on the diadem of wisdom, a shining light in the firmament of thy generation, a fruit upon the tree of humility. So beautiful. So we're going to learn a song, Be as a Lamp. And I'm just going to bring this. Again, if we could rise in energy, we're going to end up uplifted today. I'll sing a phrase, you sing it back to me. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness. Be as a lamp unto them who walk in darkness. A joy to the sorrowful. A joy to the sorrowful. Let's put all of that together. Be as the lamp unto them who walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. And the second half goes, be a home for the stranger. Be a home for the stranger. A balm, I have the balm as the long note, but it's actually the two. A balm to the suffering. A balm to the suffering. Let's put that together. Be a home for the stranger. A balm to the suffering. And we'll put that all together. We're going to sing the whole thing through 4 times. Again, if you don't get it the first time, maybe you'll get it the second or the third or the fourth. Enjoy. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be as a lamp unto them that walk in darkness, a joy to the sorrowful. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be a home for the stranger, a balm to the suffering. Be as a lamp.
So I want to try something that we haven't done since we left our home in Hiawatha. and we left it behind at the beginning of the pandemic. So if you feel comfortable, I'd like us all to join hands and form a circle. You can link arms, or you can put hands on shoulders. So join me now. And so just to remind you, as we all form that circle, the breakout room question for this week will be, how do you believe oneness is expressed in our faith? And just to add an extra complication, Jerry and Laura, would you want to come up and extinguish our chalice? Just to remind you, this was always a complication for years at Hiawatha. And we'll all sing together. Although our chalice has been darkened, we hold the fire within our own hearts. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave you with the words of Frederick Gillis. May the love that overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all who are separated, be in us and among us, now and always. Our service is ended. Go in peace. Thank you.